And now, you're tuned into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hi, hello, how are ya? My name is Liz, this is Tom DePinto, and this is RBLR Sun, an award-winning podcast.
Show them things. We won the way.
Is it an award? Okay, well, I'm not going to go get mine because it's behind.
It's right here. I already did it. Don't worry about it.
There we go. Yeah. So we got it. Apparently we got this in like October, but the hurricane kind of distracted us and I forgot about it. And then our super producer Eureka did give us this. We did get an award for Best Sun Chaser, which is definitely not made up just for us.
A totally real award that is
totally real.
All the time.
Yep. Absolutely.
We intend to defend it every year from now until the end of history.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But we are now an award-winning podcast, and we will be saying that every single time.
Yep. Congratulations. You made a good choice by listening to the best Tampa Bay Sun podcast in the world.
Oh, and you can make an even better choice by hitting like or subscribe or follow in all the places, especially the YouTubes, where you can actually see that beautiful award that we just held up.
Yep.
Go follow us on YouTube. It's at RBLR Sports. Best Sun Chaser podcast. You'll never sing that.
A lot of people won't.
Yeah. Tom, how are you today?
Liz, I'm doing really good. I feel like my blood pressure's in a good place. I feel like I got enough fiber. I'm just feeling really healthy and hale. Just something happens to you when you're the first team to ever hand Carolina their loss ever. When you do that, you just feel good about where you are in the world.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been riding that high for like since the game. I'm still wearing my jersey. I never took it off.
So yesterday you were wearing it. It's crazy.
Yeah, wild. I just can't. It's got the wind stench on it.
Yeah. I don't want to hear anything about how Carolina's been playing placid soccer or.
I don't care that the last 6 games have been draws. It doesn't matter.
They've looked back. They've been saved by the woodwork or a missed penalty kick or an offsides call. I don't care. They were undefeated until they ran into the buzzsaw that is the mighty Tampa Bay Sun FC.
That's accurate.
We did it.
Oh. When I tell you, it felt so good to be there.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't want to leave.
Please don't take you home.
Yes, please don't take me home. I want to stay here in my sunny gear. Please don't take me home.
There we go. It's canon now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a game I really wish I could have been at. I had some extenuating circumstances, some things that only come along every once in a while, so you got to do it what you got to do. But man, riding that high into the next game at home against Spokane on the 14th is going to be incredible. I know it's a while, but we're Sun fans. We're used to waiting a long time in between home games. 2 games, 1 game in October. So we're used to it. It's no big deal.
1 game in October.
Yeah, exactly.
2 games in November.
Yeah, and hey, 2 home games in November. To be fair though, we do end November undefeated.
Yeah. So
this is what it is. We've been everybody put all these big.
Oh, and I have 2 arms again. I'm out of the sling. I forgot. Yay!
You have 2 arms.
I have 2 arms again.
Everything is back. Everything is coming up heat wave. We are winning.
It's coming up heat wave. It is
in unprecedented ways now. We got 2 arms. We got 6 or 7 wins. Everything is awesome. We're in 4th place. It's a strong 4th place though. We're 5 points ahead of Fort Lauderdale in 5th, I want to say. They've got 2 games in hand on us, but I dare Fort Lauderdale to win those 2 games that they have in hand. I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they got it in them. So I feel good that there's kind of a stratification happening now with the top 4 Super League teams, Dallas, Carolina, Brooklyn, us, finally separating themselves from the bottom 4. And things aren't going to get less interesting in the spring.
No, it's only going to get better.
But you can see who have set themselves up for success. If Lexington wants to compete, if they want to make playoffs, they got to change some things. Spokane's got to change some things. Fort Lauderdale probably doesn't have to change that much compared to the other teams that are sitting outside of the top 4, but they got to execute. So, yeah.
Fort Lauderdale needs a time machine and then to go back and not trade that one player.
Yes, yeah. They need to keep Luana Mabias, but
there we go. We'll talk about it later, probably.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but yeah. Egg on your face, Tyrone Mears, head coach of Fort Lauderdale United.
Yes. All right, so let's recap this beautiful match against the Carolina Ascent.
Down.
We did win 2-1.
Yep.
We got 2 goals, one from Flint and one from Giammona.
Yep.
Very exciting. Both were great goals, and we did have a lot of shots on the on target.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say we had like 6 at least. But we did have a decent amount of just like in general shots just going towards the net, and I'm happy with that. I like that.
Yeah.
We looked a lot more attacking than
we moved out of that phase of the season where we were content to possess the ball, and that was kind of it. There was sort of a doldrums there in late October, especially that 2 away game week, Brooklyn and Spokane, where things were kind of dark for us. But now we're possessing the ball, we're getting in crosses. That's where we're successful, is when we can get in some good crosses, some successful crosses, and get some shots on goal that way. That's what Tampa Bay Sun Soccer is about. And there's a lot of reasons why that game plan has been there all season, and there's a lot of reasons now that the game plan is suddenly working a lot better. It has to do with our central midfield, has to do with the play of our wingers that have been pretty consistent all season, but things are coming together. We're meeting the expectations that everybody had for us way early on in like preseason. So it's there's a lot of reasons to be excited as a Tampa Bay Sun fan, a fun fan, because the team's fun finally again. I remember when this podcast first started, I was like, man, I say excited too much. Like, am I too excited? Am I using the same word too much? No, we're back to it. We're back to being excited. Excitement is back on the menu for Tampa Bay Sun fans.
Yes.
So
it is.
We're doing it.
Speaking of exciting, we had some exciting new lineup changes. What were they? Yeah,
we did have 2 pretty interesting lineup changes.
What a transition.
I know a lot. Yeah, it's an exciting transition. It's a transition, one of them that a lot of people have been asking for, and not because anything out of the player who got subbed out. And another one, at least one person has been really banging the drum. At right back, Paige Almendarez. She's gotten herself into the flow of things. She's got a different style of play. She got the start at right back over Talia Stouty. I'm a big Stouty head, always love her. But Paige does bring something very different to the game. It's a different type of. She's a veteran. Stouty is literally a first-year pro. And it shows in her game. She's got good athleticism. She wants to be involved, but there are some things that Paige can do with her crosses that Stouty isn't quite doing yet. And I'm sure that's what Denise saw in practice. So it brings a different style to our attack. I know we like to operate out of the wings. We like our right wing to be very aggressive, the left wing a little more controlled. And so to have somebody like Paige who gets that far up, can make a smart play with a really well-placed, well-touched pass inside. She did a lot of good things for us. The other change was Orcus is back, baby. And look, Lauren Kozal, if you're listening, it's not that we don't like you, but man, you can't be Ashley Orcus. You're not her. She
you know what it is? We have such an emotional attachment to her because she was our first keeper. And she was so chill, kind of real quick telling us things, from the sidelines. So
communicating during the game with us.
Just so cool, man.
Yeah. When you save a penalty kick, it goes a long way. So I really can't say if Orcus or Kozal is quote unquote a better goalie. I only see the games. I don't see the practices. But It's nice to see Ashley back out there. We all love her.
Yeah, I think we're solid with either one in goal, quite frankly. And then when we have Kayla and Marquesi, it's only going to be better.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're spoiled at goalie. Orcus was an early favorite for like goalie of the year. Caldwell came in and there was no drop off. Look, she's got the one mistake everybody's going to talk about. I got to mention it against Fort Lauderdale, but everything else she does, huge, incredible saves. The rest of that game, it could have been a loss. It feels bad being a late draw against your rivals' first game ever, but it could have been a loss if she didn't do a lot of other things.
No, for sure.
Yeah, and then of course Kellett waiting in the wings, developing. She was a great goalie in college. I'm sure she deserves to be in that room with the other three goalies, and Marchese proven in England. She's a local girl, so we're waiting on her. We're embarrassing the rest of the league with how good our goalies are.
It's true.
Let's see. We came out looking pretty good first 2-3 minutes, right, Liz? You really liked those first 2-3 minutes, right?
I did. We had so many. We were pressing right from the beginning. We were showing Carolina that, hey, we came here. We want to win. Gosh dang it, because we tied them in a 0-0 draw that I went to. And man, we tried so hard to win that time too. So we were like, no, we're coming for blood this time. And we did.
Yeah, you went up to Charlotte, so this game means probably more to you than most people. You needed this. I think when the team comes out that hot in the first, second, third, fourth minute, showing what the game plan is going to be, showing how it's going to work, and like daring the other team to stop it, Carolina in this case, and they couldn't. Like I said, we do good when we can cross the ball in, and when we have that sort of midfield pivot on the defensive end with Jordan Listro and with Jade Moore, and we've got big Carly Giammona in the middle too, it's a real big problem for defenses because you got to worry about containing this creative, strong, intelligent center of the field that we've now finally have. And at the same time, you've got extremely athletic wingers on either side, Sydney Nacella running up and down. Flo Nielsen causing problems all the time. She could score 2 goals on you if you blink. So the way our team is finally set up is, I think, the way Denise wants the team to be set up. We finally achieved what Tampa Bay soccer actually is. It's supposed to look like this. It's probably going to look like this for the rest of the year and into the spring in 2025. And that's a good thing. We want it to look like this.
There were a couple of really good balls from Flo, to the center, trying to shoot towards the goal. I'm a fan of it. I love the press we had. 5 minutes in, we had more shots towards the goal front. Around 17 minutes, I kind of noticed that Carolina looks kind of weird and clumpy and not very cohesive.
Yeah, it's something that you've seen a little bit in their past 3-4 games where things haven't been coming up Carolina lately. I don't know. They came out early because they got a good core that was very organized. I think Philip Poole, their head coach, did a good job of instilling what he wants them to do early on. But I think as other teams develop, you're going to find that what Coach Poole wants them to do is a little American youth soccer-y. It looks uninspired to me. I don't doubt he can change it. He's a pro coach. He's been with the national teams before. But as it stands, what Carolina is doing is very much boilerplate soccer. A 4-3-3, flat, doesn't change the point of attack, doesn't change the point of press when they don't have the ball. It's not something that's too hard for a 20-year veteran coach like Denise to figure out and break down. And she basically said as much in the post game, where she said that they haven't changed that much since the first time we played them, and we've changed a lot. And I think that much was okay. They've got good players. They're well organized, but it's a pretty typical type of organization that you're going to see if you go out to an ECNL, youth soccer select game. So Not something that's going to be too hard to figure out. It's something that they got to work on. I would be concerned if I'm a Carolina fan. Could be 4 losses in a row if not for woodwork, missed penalty kick, and offsides call. So, yeah, something they got to figure out because the rest of the league could start passing them up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Fort Lauderdale late in the season sneak into that playoff spot over Carolina if they don't figure out what's going on up there in Charlotte right now.
Yeah, they gotta change something because whatever it is, it's not working. No, which I think leads us into our first absolutely beautiful goal.
Yeah.
From Tosh Flint, who has 3 or 4 defenders on her who just don't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's something that there's all these soccer stats that you can point to that you can put numbers on. How many goals you score, how many assists you got, your distribution, your forward passes. But there is a stat that you can't put a number onto, and it's gravity, a player's gravity, how many players they draw to them. And we have so many players that are so good all the time, such good dribblers, such good passers, such good goal scorers, that now every single one of our attacking players has a lot of gravity. So you don't know as the other team's defender where you should be. Should you hedge one towards Flo? Should you head out towards Nacello and probably get beat and embarrassed? Should you worry about Giammona? There's a lot of things going on there. So that happens. Viv Bissett knows that's happening up there as a defender. She knows what the defenders are dealing with. And she plays this really, really good, perfectly weighted long ball right into the path of Tasha Flint, who just bangs it off the volley. She beats 2 players.
Keeps going with it.
It looked so casual, like they had done it 100 times in the training ground. It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that goal. That's a proof of concept goal where it's like that's what we want to be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and then we did have a couple of good things that happened afterwards. Nothing resulted in a goal. Let me see. When did they score their goal? Wait.
That was 35. So about
35. Sorry. I was looking at the thing.
Yeah, like 7 or so minutes after ours. There was a good bit of like 50-50, and then they kind of did control after, which you expect to see from a team that just got scored on. They want to slow the pace and organize. And it did work for them. Their goal came kind of something they were looking to do all game, I noticed. They had their front 3 playing right up against our defense. And it's something it's smart to do against us because we do press really hard where we end up in sort of a 2-back, just our 2 center backs there when we do have the ball. So if there's a turnover and you've got 3 against 2, obviously that's a mismatch. So it worked for them once. They got that long ball out. Riley Baisden pounced on it. Vicky Bruce, one of the really good veteran players for Carolina, played a good ball over the top into Riley's path, right in between our 2 center backs. And it's something that you don't see happen to us too often. So you got to give kudos where they're due. They did exactly what they had to do. Good diagonal run, left our center backs in the dust. Orcus was kind of caught in no man's land, wanted to go down, didn't commit fully, got beat around the edge. So, you know, it happens. And if it only happens once a game, that's fine. Not every game has to be a shutout.
Yeah, and it's, like you said, shit just happens, honestly. Like, no big deal. She made enough saves for the rest of the game that it didn't matter.
Yeah.
If it ends in a win, that's all that matters to me.
Exactly, yeah. You make one mistake, you own it, and you own up to it. You fix it later.
Yeah. And then Paige took that personally because about 4 minutes later, she did the most beautiful fucking tackle I've ever, that's our one F word, sorry. The most beautiful tackle I've ever seen. And just gets the ball and the Carolina player just drops to the ground. And it's clean. It's totally clean. The ref doesn't call anything because it's clean because she gets the ball. But just beautiful. Like, so beautiful. Tom wasn't there. And I had to immediately text him and be like, you're going to be so proud of Paige.
Yes. And I am. But all game, Carolina would get touched, get fouled, go to the turf. And arms up, say, "Oh my God, what is that? What's the deal with that, ref?" That Carolina player, I'm not going to name her out of respect, went down on that tackle, straight up face planted, may have eaten some grass, and just like got up like, "Yeah, she got me there, didn't she?" Like, that was good. So, I mean, I think that's probably a little bit too of what Paige brings to that right back spot that Talia doesn't. Lights out defending one-on-one. Great to see. Awesome stuff.
Yeah. And it was a couple minutes later that it kind of occurred to me that, hey, maybe Edmonds needs to be an attacking midfielder because she's not quite quick enough for defending yet. And I sound really mean saying that, but like she just does better attacking. Like she's better at just let's push the ball up through to the top. Like she's very good at that. I feel like that's where her strengths lie. And maybe she got pushed to the back for defending.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
I don't think you're not off base at all, for sure. I draw up my little my team diagram, and then I draw lines and dotted lines and arrows based off what everybody's doing. And something really good happens for us when Edmund gets upfield. She does great triangles, especially now that it looks like her and Flo and Listro, they're all kind of, that triangle is a little bit slept on, I think, for us, because it's not the most exciting, like running down the field type ball. But the three of them pass around with each other in a way that you don't really see anywhere else in the field. Maybe Nastello can provide some really good give and goes with basically anybody just because she's a great player. But you don't see such a well-developed triangle of soccer. And the triangle is the strongest shape. It's very important in soccer. So when Edmund gets up there, she cuts inside. Flo can hang out on the left, beat somebody one-on-one. She can cut in. Listro comes forward to help occupy that. Hendricks drops into the middle to cover her space. Paige will come inside. Bissett pushes up a little bit more. Giammona gets way far up to kind of do like a two-person platoon with Flint. And then Moore comes in behind her to occupy that space with her strength and her abilities, her vision. Things get really good once that left side triangle starts operating, because it forces the defense to do something they don't want to do and overcommit to that side. And when the other team overcommits to one side or the other on Tampa Bay, it's bad news for them. So Edmonds getting forward is good news for us. There are some things we notice every once in a while during the games defensively with Kristen, where it's just, I don't know, a split-second decision that doesn't go the right way for her. Sometimes you want to play the ball and maybe you shouldn't. But hey, I'm not the, multiple-year veteran of professional soccer. But there are some things she does offensively that are really good. And I think that's worth focusing on.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of letting us, this wasn't the side. This was straight up the dang middle, because Giammona was like, "Oh, it's my ball, and no one's taking it. Gosh darn it, no one is taking it." And also, let's be real, the Carolina players didn't really go for it.
They didn't want to. Would you want to post up against Carly Giammona? No. One of them tried to, and she got shoved to the ground and scored against. So, a little embarrassing, honestly. It's something that we're starting to see with the players that we have now, where we can finally be a little bit selfish one-on-one, because every one of those players that we have going forward has that gravity I talked about. We don't have to rely on playing the ball out to the wing and hoping something happens on a cross like we saw early in the season. Early in the season, it was a lot of get the ball up, cross it in. Maybe Riley's way far up there. Maybe Ashley Clark can make a run onto the left side. Now we've got such good, strong, composed players everywhere, where there is nowhere you want to hedge as a defender.
Everything is intentional now, which is so nice.
Yeah, it looks.
That's really mean to say, but
no, we had academy players out for hours.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season. And nothing against the academy players who are going on to college. We'll get on that later. But when you come in with expectations like we had, you want to have your international superstars doing what everybody thinks they're going to do, and they're finally doing it. It's son soccer finally.
Yeah, so it was a beautiful ball from Nacello to Carly, like just straight textbook. And Carly is just like, no, you know what? I am a bull. I am a bull with the ball. The ball is going in the goal.
Yeah, it was literally maybe one of my
Yeah.
favorite goals of the season. Not like your quick highlight reel 5-second YouTube short banger or whatever, but like, man, that it's so good to see. Carly
It shows the quality where we've ascended to.
Yes. Now who's doing the ascending?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got such smart players. We've got such a smart game plan. And Carly is so strong with the ball. Like, do you want to be that defender that sees Carly Giammona with the ball and having to go up to her and do something about it? You really don't, because you might get knocked down. You might be on your face watching the ball go into the net. You might just get blown by. You might get an elbow into the chest, and it's going to be clean. She's smart. She's not somebody you want to mess with.
Yeah.
It was perfect. She looked like, if you're an old Bucks fan, she looked like Mike Allstott running up the middle. Nobody could stop her. It was so cool. And of course, Sydney Nacello stands over the ball for like a second or two, and she's like, nobody's pressuring me. That's odd. Normally I get pressured. Well, I guess I'll just play a good pass in the middle, I guess. No big deal. So it's exactly what you want to see. And that's what I talk about when I talk about the gravity. Early in the season, defense would be like, oh, it's Sydney Nacello's got the ball. We got to get on her right now. But now it's like, oh, who else is making the run? And what's happening over there? There are so many problems for other teams when we have the ball offensively that there's no one thing you can do to shut us down. You take away one option, there's something else we can do. You take away that option, we'll play it outside, and that's a whole different suite of problems for you if we're serving and across. So things are working. We're there. We're playing sun soccer. Denise has got to be on cloud 9, I'm sure, because I think this is what she wants to look like.
Yeah. If she's not, she should be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you think you want to do something else, Denise, slow your roll. I think this is pretty good.
Yeah. Yes, because she definitely watches.
Yeah.
Or at least somebody watches and tells her this shit that we say.
Somebody gives the players the highlights of what we say, so.
Yeah. Okay, so then that leads us to halftime, and I'll be honest, the second half was not that exciting. There were no goals. There were a handful of shots, lots of good passing, nothing bad I saw, like nothing that made me go, oh god, why this half was bad. This half was what happened from the first to the second half. It was just Carolina, I think, changed up a couple things. We got a little tired.
Yeah.
The end.
If you got a lead going into halftime, do you really want the second half to be that exciting? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
I meant like exciting, like we scored more goals.
Yeah, you would like it to be more, more goals for us, but still, this is good. I mean, there's Flo Nielsen's making some good stuff happen on the left wing, getting fouled, and Flint had a really good shot from the wrong side of the midfield circle that wasn't that far off, and I love it. If you're a striker, you want to strike. You're pressing that shoot button on the controller if you get it. I don't care where you are on the field. So I like to see it. It's confidence, not just in yourself if you're shooting from that far. It's confidence in the rest of your team. If you're like, oh, I can do this, it's no big deal. Even if I mess it up, we're still gonna recover. So she barely misses the shot. It probably trickles out around the left side of the 6-yard box and whatever. So we kept
fine. They don't like shooting towards the heat wave. That's all. We're gonna take it very personally.
It's too much pressure when they're looking at us. I get it though. Yeah, there's one quote. It was Carly at halftime who got interviewed, right, for her goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had one quote that I love, and I think it just sums up the entire game. She said, "It turned out good for us." Which
Yeah.
understatement of the century, like, yeah, it turned out
wrong.
Turned out good. So I love it. I think this whole game is just, it turned out good for us. It all came together. So I love it. Yeah, I mean, what else? We got some more subs in. It's
Yes.
typical stuff. We only made 3 subs, which is still kind of weird to me when you get 5 total, 3 windows, that normal rule that's happening now. And the third sub, Rockstarter, came in the 94th minute, so she barely got to do anything.
Yeah, I don't understand the logic there, but I assume DSB has something.
Yeah, I mean, get her on the score sheet,
Yeah.
I think one of the subs is definitely worth talking about. I mean, the first sub, 67th minute, came pretty early by DSB standards. A lot of coaches will make a couple moves at the hour mark. Denise likes what she likes. And that was Stouty coming in at the right back spot for Paige. And I think that goes to show that they're still pretty interchangeable. They bring something different, but later in the game, you bring on a rookie at right back, and it's a different look for the other team to have to deal with. She's fresh, she's fast, she's young. So I like that. I like Saudi. I like Paige. I like what's happening at right back with us. The other substitute, the middle one, is a little worrying, right? I would say.
Yeah.
Because it was a non-contact.
Only because we haven't heard anything, and I don't.
Yeah.
She's posted to Instagram because I'm a creep. She's posted to Instagram, but like not specifically, like the "Yay, we won" post, and that's kind of it. Like no of her kind of thing.
Like, you'd never like to see a player go down away from contact, non-contact injuries, or worse than contact injuries most of the time. But it didn't look super bad where she was like, oh no, like she walked off on her own power. I think
she signed autographs at the end. Yeah. So she was, I'm not sure what, maybe it was just like a recurring thing that flared up. I don't know. Like we nothing but to speculate.
So and Sydney, I don't think we said we're talking about Sydney DeCello, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Sydney DeCello just kind of stops and sits down around the 75th minute. We're not 100% sure what happened. We did see her coming off. She needed to be helped off, but then, like we said later on, she was walking on her own. She seemed okay. She was talking to us. Oh, as I knock off my mic. She was talking to us. She signed autographs.
She plays a lot of minutes for us, so I
hope she's okay.
Yeah, she's running around a lot. She's doing a lot when she's out there. So if you're gonna feel a little something, I kind of get it. So I'm glad we're coming up on the end of the season where we can get a couple weeks for everybody to recover. And
I'm also glad that. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. I know Sydney needs it because she works her ass off out there.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad that she was like, nope, time to stop. This is where we go. This is where we stop because any more will be bad.
Yeah.
So I am happy that she didn't just be like, I'm at 75 minutes. It's only 15. I could push.
Yeah. And part of that is knowing where she's good, and part of that is, it's a team game. Part of that is knowing that if she goes off the field, Riley Parker comes in, and that's good too. It's not like, oh, I don't want to come off the field because I don't trust my backup. I'd rather push myself too far. So for Riley Parker to come in and do Riley things, I actually really like. You know what? The more that I think about it, I love what Riley was doing all game. She is so unselfish. She gets in there, and there are so many times late in the game. You get subbed in with the lead, and you're kind of like, oh, they're vulnerable. They can be scored on. We've already scored twice on them. Why can't I score on them? But instead of having that pure striker mentality where they just want to score nothing else, she would shield the ball out for a throw-in and then walk away from it to waste a little more time. She would take the ball to the corner flag and kind of hang out there. She was doing all the right things that you want your teammate to do when you have the league. And it was really It was really cool to see because I was a little bit worried. It looks like she wants to score a goal really bad. And how could you not? She was the starting striker at the beginning of the year before things really got settled. A person with less character could take that as like an offense against them and want to score, want to try and do something. But Riley's not that person. She understands her role in the team. She understands it's a team game. She gets in there and she's like, all right, guys, let's wrap it up. I'm not going to drive to goal. Are you kidding me? I'm going to the corner flag. So that's speaks to her as a person, speaks to the character they have in the locker room. So yeah, really like almost heartwarming to see that like we are all in it as one. So
yeah, no, I was gonna say no player strikes me as I am the team.
Yeah.
They are all like, no, we are the team. We have to all, yeah.
You could see a lot of big personalities, a lot of players who, I'm sure Sydney thinks she should be in the NWSL. Like Tasha Flint and Jade Moore, Cecily, they were all playing in Europe. They're all these great players. Soale was a big part of the team early in the season, and now things have changed a little bit. Maybe she might be upset. I feel like nobody is upset. They all just want to win as a team. And that's such a good sign.
And then the last thing that really happened was Orcus got a yellow for time wasting, which we always are in support of, so that's fine.
Yep, we love it.
Yeah.
Goalies deserve one time wasting yellow like every game, every other game at least. It's a little treat for them.
Especially if we're winning.
Yeah. No, to be fair, if Ashley was taking that time wasting yellow while we were losing, this would be a real different conversation.
Yes, it would.
So yeah, we love to see it. She's waste all the time you got, girl. Go for it.
Yeah. And that was the match, pretty much. Not too much happened after that. We won 2-1. Yay! My player of the match was Giammona.
Yep.
Because she's just, I just love that goal where she's just like, oh no, I'm going to push past you now.
Yeah.
You're getting out of my way.
Yeah, she's awesome. I mean, there's so many players you could give a player of the match to award for this because it was such a good team effort. Giammona's goal was incredible, but the pass by Nacella to get it there was great. Flint's goal on the half volley was awesome, but the pass by Bassett to get it to her was really great. Everybody was playing their role. Everything was there. If I was more of a jerk, I would just say, oh, Denise Schulte-Brown, player of the match. Because she really adjusted and outcoached Philip Poole. That's not how player of the match works.
I've already done that. You can't do that.
I'm not doing it. It's not for her. So my player of the match was Jade Moore. She deserves it. She's been putting in those tough minutes that people don't notice in the center of the field. She has got that G word I love right now, gravity. She draws player to her. And when you can see a couple times a game, once, twice, 3 times a game, 4 midfielders will converge into that center circle because Jade Moore has the ball. And all that does is create acres of space on the wings for everybody else. And it's she can do whatever she wants at that point. She's not concerned about 4 players closing down on her. She's Jade Moore, okay? Do you know who you're dealing with right now? So she sees that and she goes, cool, great. That means Nacella's open. Mm-mm. Or it's like, great, I'll feed it into the middle to Giammona. Or, maybe it's not quite there. Let's play it back to Jordan Lister on the half on the left. Like she brings a different dimension to this team that we haven't had before, and she deserves her flowers for it, even if it doesn't show up on the score sheet.
Nice. All right. So there were some other matches that happened. I guess they're important.
Yep, we're in a league, and that means there's other teams in it. Unfortunately.
So Brooklyn played DC, and Brooklyn got the first hat trick, which no one was surprised. Let's be real.
First hat trick on a hot streak. First hat trick for Brooklyn. There's been 2 others already.
Oh, has there? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. I thought
No,
that was
yeah,
the first time Super
I was under
League.
the wrong impression too. We were talking about that last night, and we were both wrong. But yeah, it was
Okay,
the
the third
first
hat
hat
trick for
trick.
Brooklyn.
To be fair, it was the fastest hat trick in league history because it was
Yeah,
what?
what is that? 14 minutes? 15 minutes?
Yeah, the goals happened. I think they officially give it a 16 based on like when the goals
Okay.
happened. Yeah, but
Okay.
it was 31, 33, and 44. That's Luana Grabias, the Brazilian U20 national team player that Fort Lauderdale gave up. We hinted at that earlier in the show. The first ever Super League to Super League transfer was Fort Lauderdale sending Luana Grabias over to Brooklyn. And boy, I bet they look stupid right now.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you know who would have been nice to have in a close 1-0, 1-1 game against your rivals on a rainy pitch? Luana Grabias would have been really good for Fluted to have, but they don't. Brooklyn does.
They do not know
because Brooklyn's really good. Would anybody have guessed Brooklyn DC would end 3-0? Yeah, most people probably would actually. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, she looks really good too. I mean U20, that's scary to think about that she could be in our league for a lot more years. But yeah, she just embarrasses for her first goal. She embarrassed Claire Constant and Madison Wolfbauer, who were like no slouches when it comes to defense for DC. Just burns them both. Mackenzie Pluck, excuse me, gets the assist on both of those. They're just pressing hard on DC, picking the ball up on the turnover in midfield and making them pay for it. And folks, the fact of the matter is Brooklyn's really good at this. They deserve that one spot right now.
Yeah, for sure. They play good soccer.
Yeah. I mean, they're on the longest win streak in Super League history. 4 entire games.
Yep.
Yeah. First season of a league stuff where that's your longest streak, but still.
4th clean sheet for Martinez. I know we have good goalies, but I wish we had Martinez too.
Right. I know we maybe have the 3 best goalies in the league, but I
also want the 4th.
I would love to have the 4 best goalies in the league. Yeah.
Yeah. I want all the goalies.
Yeah. Speaking of goalies, we'll do a little transition here. Speaking of goalies, I do want to give a shout out to DC's goalie. Even though she did get scored on 3 times, I don't really think that's her fault too much. She's on DC. That's tough to do. But Morgan Aquino for DC, the Perth, Australian native, she got her first call up to the Australian senior national team just now. She did it. Super League is working as intended. We are helping our players out. I think the really cool thing about this too is there's a 4-game series for Australia. So you would think she's not going to be like the first choice keeper because it's her first call up ever. But 4 games in like a week and a half, there's a chance she gets. DC's got a game on the 23rd against Fort Lauderdale, and then she'll probably leave right after that to go to Australia. They play Brazil on the 28th and the 1st of December, and then they play Taiwan on the 4th and the 7th. And then she's right back here to play Lexington on the 14th. So she could get herself some national team minutes and then come back and pick up right where she left off. So yeah, Super League.
Incredibly jet lagged, but yes.
Yeah. Again, yeah. I don't know if it's a whole week between the last game and the Lexington game.
That's true. It is an entire day of flight, though. I just Googled. It's like 22 hours to a day.
And the she crosses the date line the wrong way, so I think she loses an entire day basically out of the world.
Yeah, so maybe one going one way, it's 2 days technically or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to understand how time zones work.
Neither am I.
Yeah. But hey, good job, Morgan.
No, that's awesome. We love to see it, especially for no shade to any of the smaller countries, but like the Matildas, it's a team with a name like that. That's some legacy right there.
That's not a smaller country, yeah. So to have a Super League starting goalie who's in the conversation now for the Matildas, that's good for us.
Yeah, that's where Sam Kerr plays. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, another good transition. Congratulations to Sam Kerr. Right?
Oh yes, and is Christy Mewis?
Chris Mewis, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the Mewises.
Yeah. Mewis is having the baby, right? Not Sam.
Yes.
Yeah. That's I love it. I'm so happy for them both. And a really big brain move by Sam Kerr to make sure Mewis is the one carrying the baby. That way she doesn't have to play her against her for like a year. the lesbian pro athlete dark arts that is marrying an opponent and getting her pregnant. What? It's a long-term game. Sam Kerr's an athlete.
It's definitely the long con, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of being pregnant, the USL Super League has been pregnant with goals, and there has now been over 100 of them.
That's true. And just like we predicted last week, all you had to do was watch the first all of the Brooklyn game, and then you switch to the Spokane game, and then that's when Lexington scores.
Yeah.
As usual in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yep. Liz has said it before. She'll say it again. Don't bother watching Lexington until the last 20, 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I'll say 20 just to be nice.
Yeah.
Go in at the 70th
They've scored
minute.
in like the 75th, I think.
Yeah.
But really that 80-minute on, that's when it gets good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations.
So like you would have missed Ethics PK, but that's okay because it's a PK and you kind of see them all.
It's Ethics. Okay, they score PKs all the time. It's what she does for them.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then in the 86th minute, in true Lexington fashion, they get the 100th goal in Super League history, even though Brooklyn scored 3 goals to get them there.
Yeah. If it wasn't for Brooklyn's hat trick by Grabius, then Lexington wouldn't have gotten the big name, 100th goal ever type deal, which is so Lexington, honestly.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they're a fun team.
Horse heads.
They're starting to fall into that my second favorite team type deal, Lexington, where they're fun to watch.
Yeah. So what do we have coming up? We don't have any more games until December 8th, which is literally an eternity.
Yeah, we're used to it though. It's what we deal with as Sun fans.
It is an eternity though.
We're the most
and we will play Dallas
fan base in the world. It's whatever.
Yeah. So we will play Dallas at Dallas, and then we come back home to Fort Blake on December 14th, and we play Spokane.
Yeah, Akic in Spokane, and
yep, everybody plays that day.
Yeah, Marley Canales too. She scored on us last time, so don't forget about Marley Canales.
Oh, okay, yes.
But yeah, we got a while off. The entire league is off next week because of Thanksgiving, which is cool. Give everybody their family time.
Cool. When this goes up, on that day, it'll be Wednesday the 20th. And Dallas will be playing Spokane. I'm gonna predict Dallas wins this.
I think Dallas is getting hot. They're figuring their stuff out.
Yeah, I feel like they could pull out either a 1-0 win or maybe a 2-1 win.
I'm feeling 2-0.
I feel like they're gonna run away with it, but I feel like they are gonna at least they're not gonna get demolished or anything like that.
No. Spokane's a gritty team. They don't like to let the game get away from them, but I think Dallas is kind of in the same boat as us, where they're figuring it out.
And then Saturday we have 2 games. I wish they could have spaced them out a little better, but that's okay.
Let us watch them both.
Then we have Carolina playing Dallas.
Yep.
Again, which is for Dallas. And then at 7, and then Fort Lauderdale playing DC at 7:30.
Yeah. The easy game. I think Fort Lauderdale beats DC. You kind of feel like they have to, right?
Really hope so, at least.
I would like DC to get a draw there, or at least a draw. Anything to keep Fort Lauderdale away from us in that 5 spot.
And then I'm interested to see how Carolina plays and see if they change anything now.
Yeah.
They finally make some change that they've lost a match.
Yeah. The Grim Reaper's been knocking on Carolina's door for a while, and he finally answered when we helped.
The Carolina Reaper?
So, what? Oh, yeah, shout out Carolina Reaper. Look at that. Look at that.
I make good references.
Friend of the pod, the Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's awesome.
But yeah, how does Carolina bounce back? And how does Dallas deal with the three days of rest, and then travel to Charlotte? How does Carolina deal with taking their first loss ever after a series of games that they could have very easily lost? So that's obviously the most interesting game of the three, in my opinion.
No, for sure. And then, like you said, we have a league-wide break for Thanksgiving, which is sad, but also, yeah.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
Good job, everybody.
Just like soccer.
Right. Little extra Super League stuff. The Golden Boot race. Now that everybody is getting involved, all the teams are having fun. The Golden Boot race is getting interesting. Fort Lauderdale's Addie McCain is still hanging out up there on 6 goals, but she's been on 6 goals for a couple weeks now. It feels like it's starting to get crowded for us. Carly and Flo both have 4. Luana Gravias for Brooklyn got 3 last game. So she's on 4 total now. Mary Kate McGuire for Lexington, the 100th goal scorer. She's on 4 now. Lexington's Sydney Shepard. Lexington loves scoring goals. That's why I like them. Sydney Shepard's on 4 goals.
They love scoring goals, but they also love having goals scored on them.
They love it. Yeah, they just love seeing the ball in the back of the net. They don't care where it is, really. On team. And then, Dallas's Allie Thornton also has 4 goals, too. And then just ahead of all that big pack, Maddie Parsons from, you guessed it, Lexington. She has 5 goals. So, Lexington going crazy. They got 1 player with 5 goals, 2 players with 4 goals. And things are getting interesting in the Golden Boot race, which is, I don't know, we're talking about it halfway through the season, not even halfway. But still, worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the Super League for the week, right?
Yep.
You feel good about it? Yeah. So we'll touch on some other women's soccer. That's what we do here. Why do you look so confused?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, we do women's soccer.
Oh my God. Okay, whatever. You have to stop everything you're doing right now, listener, and you need to go Google Marta goal against Kansas.
Yes.
And it's possibly the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've been to a Taylor Swift concert, so like the bar is high.
Oh my God. I've been to the Grand Canyon, and let me say, that Marta goal is right up there with it.
Yeah. Way to just undermine mine. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Taylor Swift's cool too, but like, if she did a concert in the Grand Canyon and Marta was there too, could you imagine?
That'd be bad for the Grand Canyon, but okay.
Yeah, we shouldn't do that.
Like the sound. Yeah.
Yeah. The amount of people showing up all at once, the electronics got to haul in. Yeah, I don't recommend.
No, but
maybe in Roblox.
That goal was actually a work of art. She just picks up the ball as Barbara Banda goes down. Unfortunately, she gets injured. But she just picks up the ball like it's nothing. Just as I knock over a cup. Just running in. She's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the ball next too. And then 2 defenders go down almost in sync.
Yeah,
like it would look fake if you didn't have, if I didn't know it happened like in real time.
Yeah.
And then she gets around the keeper and it's beautiful. Straight
out of FIFA. Oh. Straight out of playing your little brother in FIFA, basically.
Yes.
Really good.
Yes.
So that's so Marta is Banda all right? Is she good? You know?
I have no idea. That's a great question.
Because I like her.
Yeah.
But the Orlando Pride, shout out the Orlando Pride. We here love the Orlando Pride. We're pro Orlando Pride. They got Washington Spirit in the NWSL final this Saturday at 8 p.m. So while you got one TV playing that Carolina Dallas game, the other TV should definitely have the NWSL final on it.
Boom! You have your TV, your tablet, and your laptop. All three games going.
Exactly. Yeah, it's 2024, people. If you don't know how to watch 3 soccer games at once, you're not a real fan. All right.
Honestly.
I do hope Orlando wins. They deserve it. I like their fans. I like their team. I don't like the city, but I do like the team.
Yes. Yeah. Hate the city. Love the team. And speaking of, you should follow RBLR on YouTube. It's RBLR Sports and RBLR Sun FC on all the places.
Follow our city.
So that you don't miss any updates. It's very helpful. Click the buttons. I'm just going to keep pointing.
The buttons are somewhere. They'll find them.
Yeah.
I got faith in the listeners. We have the smartest listeners in the world.
We do.
Yeah. And can I do my super miscellaneous while we're finishing up?
I would love it.
I want to do a shout out to the U.S. Cerebral Palsy women's national team. That is a real thing, and they deserve your respect. They're really good at this. They made it to the World Cup final. There is a World Cup for that, yes. And they lost to the defending champions Australia by a score of 2-6. But they lopped some good score lines and everybody else on the way there. Australia beat us in 2022 in the last World Cup. So one of these days we're going to get one over on them. And I'm going to lose my mind, and everybody's going to be really worried when it happens. So shout out to the USCPWNNT, and also shout out to the USDWNNT, the deaf national team, because my God, those girls are cooking. They beat Japan 6-1. They beat Japan 7-0. They're preparing for the Deaf Olympics in 2025 in about a year, next November. Liz, would you like to hear what the U.S. national deaf women's soccer team overall record is?
Yeah, sure. What is it?
They have won 40 games. They have drawn 1 game, and they have never lost.
They've never lost?
Never, ever, ever lost.
That's awesome. Good for them.
1 draw.
Fuck yeah. Or frick yeah. Sorry.
Frick yeah. Yeah. Emily Spreeman, I want to say, is their leading goal scorer. They were on the broadcast before a senior full national team game. And they just they beat the brakes off whoever they were playing there. They're really good. If you ever get a chance to watch the deaf national team play, do it. They're so good at it.
Yeah, I gotta see if that's like a separate thing. It's got to be a separate thing on FOT Mobs. I just got to add that team.
Yeah,
I gotta add all the different variations of our national teams.
Yeah, follow the U.S. extended national team account because they'll do beach soccer, indoor soccer, futsal, deaf, cerebral palsy. All the teams are there. It's awesome. And then the last final thing I want to say: the Women's College Cup. College soccer is a thing. We care about it. A little bit less so because USF's not in it, but the second round for the College Cup is this Friday. And the one game in particular I want to shout out is 7 o'clock on Friday, the Georgetown Hoyas against the Iowa Hawkeyes, because 2 of our sweet baby girls, Sienna Bryan and Aaliyah Pitts, academy players, both got minutes early in the season when we needed them to. Sienna Bryan and Aaliyah Pitts will both be going to Georgetown next year. So shout out Georgetown, shout out Aaliyah, shout out Sienna. Keep that going. Keep the momentum going. If we can get some Sun Academy players into the College Cup in their freshman season, let's do it. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's cute that they're both going there.
I know, right? They're going to be friends. I love it for them.
Yeah, buddies.
Right. Hey, remember when we played pro?
The Sunny Gals making all the pals.
They're in DC, yes.
Or the Sunshine Gals. Sorry, the Sunshine Gals making all the pals.
Don't confuse people. We're still young. Yeah, but yeah, our Sunshine Gals are going up to DC and making pals, and you know, they're pro athletes. I love it for them. So yeah. That's it. I'm good.
Yeah, I'd say that about wraps it up. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Oh, Favo, my goodness. Oh, Look at his little face.
He's purring right now. You're lucky he's in a good mood.
Oh, nothing turns me into a tiny child like a kitten. Oh, he's so grubby.
All right.
He's a
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.